I use the market profile to find long setups and translate it into plain English. My edge is simple: patience and daily understanding of the market profile. Let's get started. So the first stock I have here is NVDA. This is the market profile for the day. This is for Friday, by the way. The profile shows that on average volume, which means normal amount of buyers and sellers auctioned the price such that it had a bullish tilt and resulted in the most fair price or value moving higher. There were no tails here, no tails here. There were no tails, which means buyers and sellers don't look exhausted. There was no range extension, which means neither buyers nor sellers aggressively tried to auction the price in either direction. The most important takeaway is value moved higher on normal volume. This profile suggests that value could continue to test higher prices. So because I only long, my trading setup would look something like this. I'm looking for price to retest the high value area of Thursday, so around 186, this level right here, 186.7. And then my stop loss would be just below the low of the day, which would be around 185.60. And I'm looking to take profit at around the high value area on Friday, which is around 189.75. Next stop here I have here is Apple. This is the market profile for Friday. So for Apple, the profile shows that on low volume, which means few people showed up, buyers and sellers attempted to aggressively auction prices higher and resulted in the most fair price or value moving higher compared to the day before. There was no tails, which means no signs of buyers or seller exhaustion. There was range extension to the upside. So you guys can see here in the C block here and E block, which means buyers aggressively auctioned the price so that the price went higher. The most important takeaway for the Apple stock is that value overlapped higher on low volume, which suggests the price action continuing to test higher prices is not reliable. Because I only long, I'm sitting on my hands. I would love a pullback to the 244-252 level, which is a support from the beginning of the month. I want to see seller exhaustion or buyer stepping in this area. Next stop I have here is Microsoft. So for Microsoft, the profile shows that on low volume, few buyers and sellers showed up, that buyers and sellers tried to auction prices higher, but ultimately the most agreed upon price or value ended up overlapping to the downside. There were no tails, which means there were no signs of buyer or seller exhaustion. There was range extension to the upside, so in the D block here, which means buyers tried to initiate higher auctioning of the prices, but it was ultimately rejected. The most important takeaway is that value overlapped lower on low volume, which suggests conviction of upward price action to be very weak. Because I only long, I'm sitting on my hands. I'm waiting to see seller exhaustion and waiting for buyers to step in. I don't see either. There is a massive support level at the 345 to 357 level, which is a support from a year ago, right over here. Next stop here, I have, last but not least, I have Tesla. The profile shows that on average volume, so normal amount of people showed up, buyers and sellers auctioned the price such that it had a bullish bias, but ultimately the most agreed upon price or value was the same as yesterday. There were no tails, which means no signs of buyers or seller exhaustion. There was no range extension, which means buyers nor sellers tried to aggressively auction the price in any one direction. The most important takeaway is value was the same as yesterday and it happened on average volume. This suggests the price could be balancing. Because I only long, what I do when a stock is balancing is wait and see what direction of balance the stock moves. I'm personally waiting for Tesla to retest 380 to 395 level and see either seller exhaustion or buyer stepping in. And that support level is just from earlier in the month. So the 388 to 395 level here. I hope that makes sense and hope to see you guys tomorrow.